Hello and welcome to another episode of the Toyluminati podcast. I'm Silver. I'm with
Yeah,
To
reviews
is your
TV.
cue. Taco Boy, aka Pita.
and a very special guest, our first guest actually. Introduce yourself, man.
Hey, what's up, everybody? My name's Edge or Omar, whichever you want to call me tonight. I'm a collector. I'm a artist, and I'm a bunch of other things. Funny guy. Uh, I've been invited here to talk about Mafex with these amazing people. And real quick, if you want to find me, you can check out my website, studiomegaplex.com. Find all my socials, comics, all that kind of stuff for me.
Check him out, please. And like he
Yeah.
said, we are talking about something very special. Just a little
Yeah.
tiny company in the toy world.
No. Like, this is okay. So, people might know this company as Mafex, however you say it. But, the actual company, Medicom Toys,
The
the
goat.
line is Mafex or Mafex.
Yes, sir.
Mafex, a premium 6-inch line created for Westaboos, I suppose. Does a lot of Western characters with the occasional anime character every now and again.
Like
You
what
know?
was that? Like Evangelion?
Yeah, they
Yeah,
also,
like an Ava and like
Yeah.
a random like Seven Deadly Sins character. I forgot his name, but that's like the only anime representation we get.
Ava, Astro Boy, Gigantor, Seven Deadly Sins. I think that's about it for the anime.
Yeah, very limited pool on that. Weird.
Yeah,
But don't you worry, because they got so much more. And then,
Yeah.
like, you just see all their.
But wait, there's more.
yeah. You see the Pennywise.
Their Pennywise, their 2001 A Space Odyssey figures.
Yeah.
LeBron James.
Oh yeah.
Oh, LeBron
No,
James.
they did two LeBron James.
And
Right?
Jordan and Michael Jordan and Olaf. Oh my god. They
Wait,
did them all the goats.
Oh
Hell
yeah. They did. Oh my God, they did do a Michael Jordan. What the heck, man?
They did a bunch of like basketball players too, so
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, but anyway, so a lot of love for this company in the community.
Ooh.
They're hot.
It's,
Yeah, dude.
it's very hard to
Mhm.
avoid hearing the M word in the toy community
Yeah,
nowadays.
Yeah, especially when a new figure is revealed, whether it's from a domestic company, uh, uh, Japanese company, you might hear the words, "I'll wait for the
Version. Oh, look, a new Deadpool. I'll wait for the Mafex. Wait, there is actually one. Never mind, I'll pull it. Pull that. Sorry.
I'll wait for the reissue. That's what I'm
I'll wait
waiting
for
for.
the reissue.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't have a Green Goblin. We have a Mezco Green Goblin, but that thing sucks.
Nah,
I'm waiting for the Mafex version.
Mafex.
Exactly.
You guys want to like start by like how you got into the? We all have Mafex figures, right? We've all sinned.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You guys go one
I
by
have like a
one.
couple, maybe one or two.
Yeah,
I
you
think
got
we
like the
can-
least amount amongst us, right?
Yeah, I think I have like one maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's
Yeah,
real. It might be a
dude.
bootleg.
Dude, I'm gonna put up a picture of like the single Mafex he has. Like,
Mhm.
there's like
They
nothing.
all count as one collective. They're all one figure.
Just one
Yeah,
unit.
so
one shipment of Mafex.
yeah, so I think we should just just kind of go over our experiences first, and we can go on from there. So who wants to go first?
I think mine's pretty short and sweet.
All right.
I was
No, go
like,
for it, man.
man, I wish I had a good Spider-Man figure. That's so I looked to Mafex. I was looking up like Spider-Man figures. I came up Amazing Yamaguchi, Marvel
Yeah, the
Legends.
1.0.
Yeah, the 1.0. This was, and I came across Peter Parker, sorry, from the Mafex line, and I was like, damn, I loved Peter B. Parker. What a funny character. Cloth goods. I love cloth goods. Yoink! I purchased that puppy on eBay for a fun price. It was fair. It wasn't like exuberant, but it was.
It was
Mafex.
fun.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I received him, and for a moment he was like the best thing ever. Then I moved his elbow, and I never moved his elbow again. But I think like the cloth goods and the painting and sculpting kind of carried it because I liked it, and it's honestly it still holds up sorta as long as I just don't move that elbow. Now afterwards, I got into the boys, the Amazon Prime show,
Yeah.
and I wanted to get figures for it. I got the NECA Homelander, and it looked horrible and terrifying. So I needed
Okay.
something good. I needed something quality. So I looked at the Mafex, but Homelander was out of stock. But Billy Butcher had just come out, like maybe a week before, and was in stock. So I went for him, and great figure, except you take off the coat and it just proportionally was really weird. My experience
Yeah.
with Mafex was very rough, but I kept giving it chances. I believed in the cause. And I
And then the
finally,
magnum opus, right?
yes, this is the old save the best for last, you know? This is the ultimate Mafex figure. My favorite Mafex figure. The Mafex Webman. It started out as a joke. Yeah, please applause for
Like,
Webman.
yeah, like why
Yeah.
the fuck would they make Webman?
Why would they make a fucking Webman figure? Who cares? They did.
Yeah, although
Mhm.
although something to note, it was an event exclusive. So,
Yeah.
It was a store exclusive to a
Mhm.
Medicom store. It was
oh, okay.
very
Which made buying it a hard pill to swallow. But I was
I
honestly
that's
more.
actually yeah, and that's actually something I've seen people turn off from the figure because like I've seen like big Mafex fans say like, "Man, I would have bought it if it wasn't exclusive."
Hasbro Pulse.
They just don't have the balls I have because I went for Webman and
You know, just paid $100, right?
just paid
Yeah.
$5,000. No, yeah, it was like
Very, 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 very good impulse buy right there, Silver. You did a really good
yeah,
job.
yeah, yeah. Just a little gift for the kiddies. Nothing too big.
Uh, of
But
course.
I got it, and QC was rough, but there's something about him, you know? There's a reason why I have him as my main mascot for my, shit. He's just there's so much personality behind this goofy little repaint. I love the character, and this is actually a Mafex figure I can enjoy with very little, I guess, like stretching. That's
Yeah.
my experience with the
And
company.
yeah, and I think you even gave him Billy Butcher's coat, right? For a
Yes,
bit.
on occasion, yeah, I do give him the Billy Butcher coat because he needs to stay warm. Windy City doesn't fuck around with the weather.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'll just go next. Even shorter. So my first Mafex was the unbelievable Gwenpool. That figure.
oh,
Like
interesting.
I just wanted a figure and I did like how uh the Mafex figure stayed close to the style of the closer to the Hiriguru uh artworks. So, I got that one and like honestly, it felt like a bootleg figure. Like for comparison, uh, a little a bootleg I had once was the Figma Ryuko. So that Gwenpool, the paint was pretty sloppy, and the joint tolerance was so God, it was so loose at the torso. I even like tried tightening it up, and just didn't really work. So it was not that enjoyable to play around with. And mine came with the QC issue of having two right fists. Now, from what I could tell, this is a pretty rare QC issue for Mafex, but something that just can kind of happen. Like I remember seeing one review for like the Mafex comic Thor, and it had like same issue, two right fists. So I ended up selling that figure a long time ago. After that, this is a more recent buy. I got the Hush Catwoman, the reissue. So, and that one definitely did fare much better. The paint and the joint tolerances are vastly superior to the one that I had with the Gwenpool. But my issue with it is that like it has some very strange engineering choices. Like, the shoulders are good, but the elbows, like, they only go around 90 degrees. So it's just like there's like some poses I want to get, but I just can't quite get them. And the other odd bit of engineering is like, and you have this figure, right, Edge?
Yeah, I might have this figure, maybe.
Okay. So,
Go ahead.
so I think you can confirm like the cheeks are like uneven, right?
I'm looking at mine right now, and the head sculpt looks fine. Maybe
I'm not
I'm a little distant from it.
I'm
Or
not
talking about
talking about those
the other
cheeks.
cheek, the other cheek.
Yeah,
Really
the other
cheap.
cheek.
You know what? I don't know if I'm the weird one here, but I don't really pay attention to that part
Like
of the sculpt.
I didn't really notice it in like the photos and such. I noticed it when I was articulating it because like if you try to move the legs back, one of them will go back almost all the way and then the other will just barely move at all. Specifically just talking about backwards motion.
Yeah.
So like it's just kind of a strange one like so you could put one of the legs back a good amount while the other one just kind of has to stay forward. But other than that, it's just I think the leg articulation is pretty good, and the torso is decent. But honestly, not too impressed. Like, I think the articulation is like comparable to Legends Super Articulated Black Widow. I mean, that one is a more recent figure, but even comparing it to like the SHF Chung Li, it's just this Catwoman comes off as a bit underwhelming. Like it's a fine figure, but I don't know, I just wasn't too impressed.
With stuff like that, I feel like this is the thing about Mafex is all the comic based characters that are women have all been like Jim Lee designs. So I don't know if maybe it's Jim Lee and his like because he draws girls very leggy and like very small torsos. So
There you go, Mafex
it could
King.
be like so it could be like an art style thing that kind of like limits the figure in its design because they're adhering to like Jim Lee's art style. So that could be like a point.
I kind of get
Yeah.
what you're saying, but even then, I don't know. I don't think Jim Lee necessarily drew him with limited elbows in mind.
Yeah, that might just be like just engineering limitations or just
It's just very, I don't know. It's very strange. Like there's like not a lot of muscle mass on the bicep, so it's just like not much getting in the way. It's just kind of the joint itself.
My first Mafex is the Dark Knight Batman. Dark
Okay.
Knight Rises
Yeah,
Batman.
the 1.0.
The 1.0. The first Mafex, I think. Or the second one. I don't remember. I don't remember what
Let me
number it was.
check real quick.
I think it's number 2 or number 1. I think number 1 is
Yeah.
the Amazing Spider-Man.
Yes, the Amazing Spider-Man 1. Spider-Man
1.
was number
There
1.
we go.
And
Yeah,
then it was the Dark Knight Rises Batman 1.0.
So it's number 2.
Yes.
Okay, there we go. So the the reason why I wanted it is because see, I'm a bit of a dumb kid back then. I knew it came with like a flight stand. I technically wanted to buy it for like the flight stand, but I ended up liking the figure at the time. But recently that figure broke and decided to get lost, so I don't have it anymore. And then I also have the basically I think I have the a majority of their Spider-Man releases because I'm a huge Spider-Man guy. I have the 075 and I have the Peter B. I have the 185 and I recently got the Shin Ultraman.
That's
Most
not
of my
Spider-Man.
experience, I mean, it's certainly a man. It's a man, so that counts. It's a man. It's something man. I think my experience with this line has been kind of just half and half. I like I didn't really enjoy like the first half of it. The Batman broke. Peter B was okay. It's it's just very cranky sometimes.
Yeah, creaky.
Yeah, it's very creaky. The 185 to me is not very good either. I will get into that a little bit. But the only one that I like is the 075 and the Shin Ultraman. I think those two. The 075 is an oldie but a goodie. But Shin Ultraman for me, man, that Shin Ultraman is, to me, that figure is you cooking. But rest of it, I mean, you see what I'm talking about? It's like half of the stuff that I got, I'm not too happy with. So I kind of developed this like love hate relationship with Mafex. So whenever there's Mafex news, I'm like, well, have fun wasting your money. It's a gamble with this one. Um, but yeah, that's my Mafex experience. There's a lot of bad, but hopefully it'll start to look good. I have faith. I kind of restored Ultraman restored my faith a little bit. So we'll see what happens this year.
Are you be getting the other Ultraman repaints, like the silver Ultraman and the green
silver.
Ultraman?
You know what? After seeing what they can do with the regular Ultraman, I hope that I can get my hands on it. Hopefully, one of the Canadian retailers wake up and fucking get it.
Yeah, you wanted to get that green one because SHF hasn't made one, right?
SHF never made one. I think SHF made a silver one, but again, the silver one is, I think, the easiest to find. Not for Mafex. I think 3-0 also made a silver one that's like a lot cheaper. So
Yeah,
I
they
think
did.
Mafex is the only line that made the green one. And I'm not going to spoil the movie, but the green one is, to me, if I like the red one, I think the green one will cook just as hard as the red one.
Eating Zoffy too, or not?
I didn't get Zoffy, but I am thinking about it because Shin Ultraman for me is, I love that movie so much because I grew up an Ultraman fan, and that movie is just a huge fan service, and I love every minute of that movie. So I'm thinking about getting Zoffy, even though
Same.
he's
I
a
know.
lot more he's a lot more pricier than Ultraman, even though Ultraman's a deluxe figure.
Honestly, I know. I could talk about like the Shin universe like all night, but
Yeah.
it's a Mafex podcast, not a
Yeah,
Shin
yeah.
podcast though.
It's about the
yeah,
movie.
yeah. Hey, stay on topic.
Yeah.
All right, so Edge, kind of give your brief experience.
All right. So obviously, I was brought on because of my Mafex. I don't know if knowledge is the right word, but Mafex collection. We'll just put that.
Your experience.
Sure. And then I don't know if it's how well this is gonna go through, but I actually got into Mafex by accident. I didn't. At the time, I started collecting Marvel Legends. Like, I think I was collecting for like about a month or two. All I had was like those Fantastic Four retro carded ones, and like the Doctor Doom and like the retro Spider Man. That was it. It was like about like less than 10 figures to my collection. And I was like, I wanted I wanted Gwen Stacy from the Spider-Verse movie. I wanted a Spider-Gwen in my collection.
Yeah.
And I saw on BBTS, she was listed on there from this company. And I didn't even pay attention to the company name. It just said Mafex Spider-Gwen. And I was like, all right, whatever, $100. And I throw it down. It gets to me by the end of the year. And I'm like, wow, this is fantastic. I've never I didn't know people, like, there was a company making Marvel figures like of this quality. Like, all I knew was like Hasbro. And so like the spiral begins there, because then you're like, okay, well, I mean, obviously if they make Spider-Gwen, they made Miles, and then they made Peter B. Okay, so I want to look for those guys. You look for those three, and then like, okay, but they also made a comic Spider-Man. Now I don't know if anyone here is like a toy historian, but when I got into Mafex, it was late 2021, early 2022, and I kind of call it like the dark age, or like the worst point to become a Mafex collector, because every figure was rare. Nothing had been like reissued since it came out.
Yeah.
And so 075 Spider-Man, over $200. Ben Riley, like 170, 180. Gambit, I think it was crawling to 300 at that point.
Yeah.
The Hush Catwoman was 300 easy. Like, it was like a horrible time to be a Mafex collector. But that's when I jumped in. And I'm not gonna say what prices I paid initially for some of these characters, but like, let's just say like it wasn't pretty. Like, especially for 075 and for Ben Riley.
It was not that 7,800 yen
Yeah, it wasn't like a fresh reissue case. Like, and some of these figures I had to buy like loose just to get like the best price possible. And some of these figures, and I got the what was it, the 180, not 185, the comic colored Spider-Man,
Yeah,
the
I think
one
that
with like the
is.
shell shading.
Yeah. Oh.
So there's like a third one in there like, that got
Yeah,
lumped
I
in
know
there.
what you're talking about, but like,
Yeah, you could
man,
someone
did
could put an
you?
image up there.
The
Yeah, I
forgotten one.
God. Okay, it's 108. That's the number.
108. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
I
one. I
remember that.
grabbed that was the first of the Spider-Man I got, and I think
God.
the wrist preg broke like day one or
Yeah,
two, and I was just like, this thing sucks.
yeah, that one is. Yeah, that's like God. That one is a very notorious version. There's a reason you don't see it often for those action figure fans out there.
Because it's
Like,
just
Yeah,
so
and
peak.
yeah, dude.
that's why I don't think it's organized. I don't see it getting reissued. I mean, I probably would be wrong.
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
I'm
Like
sure.
there are like still some older figures that haven't gotten reissue, like the unbelievable Gwenpool Miles, like the grown up Miles Morales Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Yeah, that one is still like pretty rare. Hasn't been reissued.
yeah. I mean, but even still, like at that time, I sold that figure broken, and it was still selling for ridiculous prices. It sold quick, and it's like the market was just like super crazy at that time, and I don't think like till maybe like the end of that year, like when it started calming down, because we saw reissues of the 075, the Venom, Gambit, and I think Psylocke too. So we got those four reissued. So and like the Hush characters. So yeah, it's like a bad time to be a Mafex collector, but I still like managed to start building a collection. And by then I started realizing don't pre-order on PBTS, pre-order on a Japanese website. Started
Yeah.
learning I could get them cheaper, and I was like
Yeah, a
saving
lot
myself
cheaper.
a couple more. Yeah, saving myself a lot of bucks. And yeah, I started building a collection. And I wasn't just looking at like the comic characters. I was looking at like Astro Boy and um Ultraman and all and the Avas, all these other characters that I also enjoy because I feel like Medicom kind of caters to my taste like a lot. That's why
All right.
I don't just buy their Mafex. I'll buy like their Sofubi, their Bear Bricks, Real Action Heroes, all the other stuff they
Okay.
make.
All
I'm
right.
a diehard when it comes to Medicom. Yeah,
All right.
that's pretty much my Mafex story.
Quite a bit of variances
Yeah,
here.
Mhm.
So
We all came to the same conclusion. Mafex is peak.
oh yeah, of course. Yeah, dude, that's exactly what you should get from it.
Yeah.
Mafex, greatest line of all time.
Ignore the fact
That's
that
true.
almost all of us mentioned breakages or
Yeah.
disappointment.
Mhm.
We were lying.
Yeah, those are just skill issues. I think if you really hone in your concentration and your chakra, anything is possible.
Yeah, just make sure you lubricate your figures,
And even if
Hmm
they break, just deal with just will it back
Yeah.
together.
Oh yeah,
Just
and you
just
can go
just look at
no,
it.
no, no, you can contact Medicom's customer service.
Hmm
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll
You
take
can
good
contact
care of
them,
you.
but they might not contact you back. I mean,
Don't tell him that, Edge.
Peter,
Don't tell him the
Peter,
truth.
Peter.
And that's a secret that you don't tell. Yeah, what is it? Sorry.
yeah,
Yeah,
you have to be Japanese to get a
you
response.
you have to really no, Peter, you have to release the secret.
Release
That's
what?
true.
Yeah, release the secret.
What?
There is no
What's this?
there is no customer service.
Oh yeah, that's right. I was like, what secret? I was like, you made it sound so dramatic to the point. I was like, what? I actually know this.
2D was like,
I
cut the
know.
recording,
I
cut the
would.
recording, cut the recording.
Yeah, like you are the one who told me about this.
Oh,
Peter's the one who broke the news.
I completely blinked out. I forgot about that.
It's because it's so peak that you don't need customer
No,
service.
no, he's been brainwashed.
Oh no.
Oh no! Oh yeah, that's true. Cause no, I like Shin Ultraman. So like, they planted a chip in my brain, and like I'm incapable of talking shit no more. Guys,
All right.
forgive me if I sound too positive.
Yeah, so the customer service. So some of you viewers might be familiar with other YouTuber display model behavior. So now I don't know if this is the case now, but there was a time where they were in Japan. They lived there. In the review of the Mafex Ben Riley Spider-Man, they had a little breakage on their figures, so they decided to contact, Medicom, try to see, if they could get a replacement or if they could provide any help for the issue. And he didn't get anything. So if you break your Mafexes or your other Medicom products, that's on you. You're not going to get
That's your
anything
fault.
from Medicom. So, but seriously, if you do break your figures, like try to sort it out with the place you bought it from. You're not going to get any help from Medicom. Just
Yeah.
It
happen.
is
Yeah,
really
the
unfortunate. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Peter.
yeah, no, it is like just to elaborate on the situation, I think Mafex pretty much sent him like a bot email saying like, "Oh yeah, we can't really do anything about it." Which is really unfortunate because these are premium figures.
Yes, and by the way, the reminder, display model behavior, they lived in Japan and they didn't get any help.
Yeah,
Like
so
that's when they were closest. That's like you're close to the source and you still got nothing.
Yeah,
That is actually really interesting because like I thought it was just like a regional thing, where it's like most people probably wouldn't get an answer just because of the region you're in. But I totally forgot about that with display model behavior. I totally slipped my mind. But yeah, he lives in Japan and like he's just getting ignored equally as much.
yeah,
I think it's just like a show of like for customer care. Like even I just said I know I like the company, but like still like you at the end of the day like bad customer service, is bad customer service. You can't
yeah,
ignore that.
another thing I want to kind of bring up is yeah, it is terrible that even with him in Japan, he's not getting the service. No, me, I'm in Canada. So now Mafex not only cost a lot, but if you have a breakage, right, you do trace it back to the source, right? You do go back to the store and be like, hey, this broke. It takes them months to get something that display model behavior gets. And there has been cases where not totally the store's fault, right? People complain. They're like, "Oh, I bought this from the store and it broke. It sucks. The store sucks." I'm like, "It's not the store's fault. It's
yeah,
you having skill issues." I'm just kidding.
Buy the
Um,
product. Keep buying.
hey, just if you don't want to break it, don't open it. But yeah, so yeah, buying Mafex here is like it is kind of a gamble.
yeah,
That goes like buying any import, as a matter of fact. It's
yeah. No.
their non-existent customer service. Yeah,
Yeah, and
their
also,
AI customer service.
for anybody who wants to point it out, uh, Peter, he is very well aware of proxy sites, but in Canada, the shipping is so high
Mhm.
that it's only going to be around $10 cheaper than buying it from a local store.
The $10 give or take. I'm not too sure about the import prices yet. Because like if I were to just like ship one Mafex figure, not only is it not worth it, but it costs more than if I were to buy it here. But I have to buy multiple. I have to buy 4 or 5 things to make the shipment worth it. So
Mm,
if,
yeah,
if we think about it that way, right? So if Mafex comes out in Japan, let's just say in February, hypothetically. And
yeah,
if it comes out in
yeah,
Japan around February, and then it will come out I'll get it by April, about a month or two later.
yeah.
So if I were to hold something like a shipment or something like that, I think I will wait a lot longer because like maybe some stuff takes longer to come out in order for me to make that shipment more worth it. But then again, the more item, the bigger the shipping costs, and then the more import tax. So it's a big hassle. I really would not like to,
Yeah.
work that out. It's not a guarantee that it will be cheaper, but yeah,
But
I'd much rather just
Peter,
get it from the local. Yeah.
it's a
hmm
Mafex. Of course
You
it's worth
know,
shipping alone.
of course, yeah. You know what?
Ooh.
One tiny box coming from Japan on a boat, and it that sounds so worth it to me.
Hell yeah.
I can't think it yet.
When it
You
comes
know
to
what? You make me see the positivity. It's getting to me.
When it comes
Yeah,
to
dude.
me and Mafex customer service, out of the three I have, two I bought on eBay, so I can't really, get any service there because eBay's like Wild West. And the one I did buy on a website had no QC. It was just like bad design. A Billy Butcher.
Oh, okay.
So like, I can't just tell Mafex, hey, redesign this guy. He looks nasty.
And then Mafex email back with a bot and be like, "Who are you?"
Get the
Sorry.
hell off my email.
Speaking personally for like my QC, I don't think I only can think of one major example for me, and I don't know if I can necessarily blame it because I bought it secondhand, right? It's the Peter B. Parker. I have a thing where like if you rotate the arm like like a 360 like on the shoulder joint, it'll just pop off. The arm keeps popping off constantly
Oh, okay.
when I'm switching the coat.
Yeah, the jacket.
Yeah, it'll constantly pop off. So that's like the only case. But I don't know if I can necessarily blame it to that or like the previous owner.
Yeah.
That's like the major one I've had. But
Yeah.
I've
Wait,
gotten like
didn't
yeah.
the comic paint Spider-Man, didn't that break?
Oh yeah. See, I had it for like a week, so like I always forget about it. Like it's just like oh yeah, that one.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I could
But yeah,
tell.
obviously that one broke, and then but yeah, the one I've kept and like still kind of like get annoyed by is that one, the Peter B. Parker. It's just like
Mm-hmm.
armless Parker, like he just keeps losing it, and it's the only one that bothers me. Other than that, I haven't had anything too crazy. I've never had like a peg break on me, other than like that one Spider-Man. But like on a new release, I'm talking about. I've never had it like break on me. I know I saw like constant like Instagram and like Reddit posts where it's just like my 185 shoulder joint like snapped in half. What do I do? What do I do? I saw that constantly when that figure was coming out.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys were seeing any of that, but like every day, like if you check the Reddit, it would just be like, just got Spider-Man, and then like an hour later, it'd be like, I broke the arm. What should I do, guys?
Yeah. Well, I don't really follow
Call
Moffitt
911.
I do see people talk about it, but I don't actively like follow Mafex that hardly. But one I do remember is like the uh, Tiger Stripe Wolverine, the original version of that mold. That one also had an issue of like the arm coming off from the shoulder,
Like breaking or just popping off?
just popping off. Basically, I think like they had like the peg go from the elbow to the shoulder, so it just goes in between the bicep, and it was just like pretty loose. That's one common issue I saw with that figure.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of another one. It's a common one.
That Wolverine, I saw a fix for it from Robo when he was at Foosh.
Oh,
He
okay.
like grinded the shoulder so like it gave
Huh.
it more space to plug in.
Huh. Oh, okay.
Aside from like
Mhm.
Peter B's like elbow killing itself every time I bend it,
Yeah, same on mine.
yeah, I don't know. Like, well, we got Edge with the whole arm coming off. Me and
Yeah.
Peter with the elbow. What's wrong with like Peter B arms? Are they just not allowed to function?
It's that
No.
coat. I don't know. Maybe it's like
Oh.
I don't know.
Oh.
It's,
Oh yeah, and I'm surprised y'all haven't mentioned it. This is not the biggest QC issue in the world, but like the Spider-Man figures, they have like kind of the paint is not really even for like the web lines, right?
Oh, yeah. Okay. If you notice on my posts, Webman, I never pose him or like rarely put the wide eye expression or the base head expression. I always have him with like the really angry eyes.
Yeah.
That's partly because I like the aesthetic more. I prefer those eyes, but the real legit reason is that on the wide eye head, if you look behind the eye, there's just a black spot. It's just bad.
Yeah.
It's really rough. I think like the employee who was painting genuinely
Fell
vomited,
asleep.
and he was like, "Oh man, just ship it out. It's
the little
fine. It's
kid,
fine."
little kid in the sweatshop factory, like his fingers are hurting.
It's like, "Oh, well, just send it up." But yeah, so my webman, he just
Like
the
they
other heads.
like they blinked. Wait, they blinked and then they turned the head around. It's just like, okay, looks good.
That was fine. Yeah. So, and then there's a few other like areas.
When it comes to Mafex, it kind of like took a minute for like for it to be like a household name or to like a common collector line
Yeah.
because like if obviously I think most of us probably heard about Mafex when like that 075 came out, but that's like the first time I feel like a lot of people were like Mafex
Yeah,
Medicom.
and like and the thing is, like I think so many people think of that like the first Marvel figure they did, but it's not. It's the first comic Marvel figure they did. But that's actually the unbelievable Gwenpool. Like it's not the 075 Spider-Man.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's just like that number, like 075. Like there's 75 figures ahead of this guy. This line's been going on for a while, and like everyone was just kind of like not really paying attention to it until
Yeah.
like that figure got revealed.
That when that 075 came out, that was like a huge debate. Like best Spider-Man figure, best Spider-Man 6-inch figure. Like it was it shook the game.
Because I mean, what was like the only competitor, like Amazing Yamaguchi, like before that?
Okay,
That was
so
like
basically it was like you had the Hasbro Pizza Spidey, the Toy Biz McFarlane Spider-Man, and then the 1.0 Amazing Yamaguchi. I think that was the main contenders people were thinking with the 6-inch scale.
was Mezco
Uh,
in there.
but
Mezco,
oh
Mezco
I think
yeah,
they're
brought it.
1.0.
yeah,
Oh yeah, oh like the chest part.
Yeah.
yeah. The first Mezco Spidey, of course.
Oh yeah, the first one. Sorry.
Yeah, not the
Yeah,
new one. And like, that's kind of the other thing is like, so many Spider-Man figures have come out. Is it really the best anymore? I don't know.
I don't know, man. That final swing suit from SHF, it's looking pretty good.
I still hold to the Mafex. I don't know. I'm still holding it down here. On the Mafex. The
Yeah.
Sentinel the Sentinel Peter B. Parker sometimes
Oh,
comes
yeah.
close though.
It's like
Mhm.
he starts speaking to you like the Green Goblin mask.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's like,
Yeah,
he's
actually,
right in
like,
front of me right here. I'm looking at him. He's like,
oh
don't
yeah,
say that about
man.
him.
Personally, do not have any QC issues, but the I do have some problems with the 185 classic color Spider-Man. But mine is despite not playing with it too much, it is very flimsy on mine. They're like you can call it like the joints are not as cranky, but
Freaky,
it is it is very flimsy. I don't play with it very much. I just like put them. I kind of just like him just standing there. Even just standing there, bro just decided to get all loose on me. I don't know what's up with that, but yeah. But we'll get into more problems with that in a little bit.
Well, I mean, you could go into it now, I guess.
Oh yeah, it's a good segue into the issue. So I guess my main issue with Mafex currently is that, well, it's one of the issues is for flexible characters like Spider-Man. He is not very flexible. I do have some images over here for a very flexible character. He is not very he is not very flexible. His ab crunch, I don't know if you guys have the same issue. When you bend it to a certain point, it kind of bounces back. Same thing with the bicep, not the bicep, the butterfly joint. When you bend it to a certain point, it kind of just bounces back and be like, nope, nope, you're not going above that.
Oh
I do
yeah,
not have that issue with the Shin Ultraman. And also I compared it with the Legends figure. So if the
Yeah,
Legends can
so
cross
this
his
is
arm,
specifically the retro car dude, Ben
Ben
Riley.
Riley, yeah,
It's on
which
it is on the
retro Spider-Man
Sunfire?
buck.
Spider-Man
Yeah,
body.
I mean, part of it is Sunfire, but most of it it's like kind of like it's a Kid Bash Sunfire body, but it has the most
I
flexibility.
think the limbs are Sunfire. The torso is new.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
the torso is
I use Robo terminology, so I'm always like, that's a Sunfire body. It's the
Mhm.
it's the Pizza Spidey body, all that.
Pizza Spidey body. But yeah. So far, I guess Spider-Man aesthetically speaking, right? I do prefer the 075 color, but the 185 color is not bad by any means. But I just think that, for a reissue, I was really hoping that they would improve on the range of motion, especially because this one also, I also got this at the same time with like the Sentinel Spider, and that figure is flexible as a mother,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
flexible.
yeah.
Like
It's
you
true,
can,
true.
yeah, he can definitely dodge bullets and leap around like it's nothing. But with like old man Mafex Spider-Man over here, he can barely bend his torso in.
Yeah.
So that's one of my
I
problems.
mean, although that's not the real old man Mafex. If you want that, you have to see the Hutch Joker.
Yeah, no, that one.
Oh wait, I have a story about that guy.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Oh, okay, okay. Sure, Garrett.
Oh yeah, okay, cool. So I was looking for a Joker. I have the Hush Batman, got the Hush
Yeah.
Superman. I'm like, they gotta fight someone. They gotta look cool on the display. I'm like, all right, well, my options are two: Hush Joker, Amazing Yamaguchi Joker. I'm like, okay, I grabbed the Hush Joker because it's gonna fit with the other Hush figures. It's all Hush. And I get it. I'm like, I feel like it's the first time I ever felt like kind of disappointed in a Mafex
Oh,
because
okay.
I don't know if anyone here owns it or has owned it, but it's just like it felt kind of sad opening it because there's just like a couple trades of hands, one head, and like a little like dinky knife. Like it didn't even like look too detailed.
Oh, okay.
And I felt like it was like, oh, it's kind of it. And then like the articulation was kind of like, okay, like it's just a guy in a suit. You can't really do too much with
Yeah.
it. And so like I got the Amazing Yamaguchi. I found it later on for a good price, like a couple weeks later, and I just put them next to each other, and I was just like, that Yamaguchi just has so much character. This guy looks like a Joker. This guy looks like, and he's like packed all these stuff, and I was like, dude,
Mhm.
is this the first Mafex L I'm seeing? And I was like watching it in real time, like, oh my god.
There is no way that this is happening right now.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
My mind was being blown real time. I was like, what?
Not in front of my salad.
Yeah, right. Peter, do you have anything else to add?
Another thing is like the drop down hips. I mean, this is just a personal preference, and so going back to the Sentinel Peter Parker, that figure does not have a drop down hip, and it moves and it does a perfect 90-degree sort of movement.
Yeah.
Me with the 185, yeah. When me with 185, like yeah, it moves a little bit above 90 degrees, but is not a significant enough difference to the point where I'm like, oh my god, it helps so much. The Legends moves a little bit more compared to the Mafex one, and I think that speaks volumes when it comes to like their engineering with that. I mean, like I feel like for the drop down, unless it really helps, include it. But if it really doesn't, I would just like stick to the regular joints. As long as as long as the leg is able to hit like 90 or a little bit above 90, I think that's good. But I feel like this figure needs to drop down to make the kick look more natural. Because if it doesn't have the drop down, the hip it's basically swinging outwards. So yeah, that's another thing I want to bring up. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, and Mafex is not the first company to do drop down. Like SHFs, they did it with their older figures, and very rarely now. Like you see
They
that 1.0 Goku, that one had the drop down hips. And I think some of their Common
the
Rider figures
Miles,
did
no, the
too,
Miles
right?
also had drop down. The Across the Spider Verse Miles also had drop down hips.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah. He had like really weird proportions.
Well, yeah. So I don't know if that drop down helped.
yeah, but honestly, and this is just a really personal opinion of mine, but every time I see a picture of like the Mafex Spider-Man, when I see it crouching, it just looks like it's taking a dump.
You know what it is? I feel like people call it like the Mafex diaper because it has like a really prominent like
Yeah,
is
like
it
like
like a
the
crotch joint. I don't know what it is like or like a
like the crotch and hips area, like that's pretty, it's pretty prominent there. Like it's just like a piece of plastic just kind of over the lower torso and thighs a bit.
yeah. It's like choose your weapon. Like, do you want the Mafex diaper or do you want the SH figure? It's like thong thing.
I do prefer like the kind of segmented hips of the SHFs, more more range, just kind of
Mhm.
easier to mess around with.
It is kind of insane how my SHF Chainsaw Man kicks higher with just the swivel
Yeah.
compared to Webman.
Also,
Okay.
another thing I think it also speaks volumes is that Mafex cannot hit the perfect split, at least for 185. I'm sure it's the same as 075.
Actually, yeah. Although I think the Catwoman can, yeah, she can pretty much do perfect splits.
I think
Yeah.
Spider-Man can do it too because she's like a small frame, so I think she could do it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Billy Butcher cannot because he's not good.
I mean, it is Billy
He's
Butcher,
British.
man.
He's
Yeah.
British.
British
Yeah,
people
British
can't do it.
people. But yeah, no, they can. Their legs are physically incapable of doing it. They don't have it yet.
Yet they're gonna unlock it.
It's a patch
Yeah,
update.
yeah, they're gonna probably have a DLC. It's like, oi, mate, I got the split in me, mate. And it's like,
It's in the new it's in the new season. It's a big power up.
Exactly. Yeah. Once they do the split, oh man, America, watch out! Fucking splitting British people coming through.
Yeah, but
Oh
okay.
wait,
Actually, you know what?
but
I'm grabbing my Carnage right now. It's pretty close to the split. It's a couple of millimeters off, but
mhm.
I think it's
but I guess that what I was trying to say is like I have a couple like old Toy Biz Spider-Man. Well, not a couple, but I have
Yeah.
quite a few. Most of them can do the perfect split because of the T joint that they have. So again, it's just a different era, but still, I feel like that's something that I think is pretty noteworthy too. Because back then they didn't discover drop down, and it works perfectly. And now that we have drop down, sometimes doesn't work. So it really
Well, a
questions
lot of
their
the
decision.
time. to be
Yeah, it
honest.
really questions their decision making in this one.
I was gonna say that I feel like that's kind of like a thing with like Mafex engineering. It's they put a lot of focus into sculpt. So I guess it's kind of like asking the question. It's like, well, do you want to sacrifice sculpt a bit more just to get slightly better range? Like it's like a person to person kind of thing. Everyone's gonna give you a different
Mhm.
answer on that.
Yeah, I think it is really about priorities. You see with a lot of these companies and lines, like they really put certain priorities in certain areas to really, uh, really create a cohesive line to fit the needs of a consumer base.
Of course, yeah.
To add to the poopy list of Mafex, my Billy Butcher, all of his accessories, including his head, by the way, just have no tolerance at all.
They're
Like,
loose as hell.
yeah. Okay, when you take off a hand off a Mafex figure, it's just like a peg, right? There's no like actual tension. It just holds there. It's not like I'm
Yeah.
pushing him or anything. And Webman and Peter, they do it fine. But then when you go to Billy, especially with the sniper holding hand, that's a cool pose you can get him in, right? Like aiming down the sight or holding the laser baby. You can't do it on my copy because the hands just will slip off. And you get mad and you're like, fuck you, Billy Butcher, and you take his coat off and give it to Webman.
It's a punishment.
And his heads do the same thing. Like the heads are really well sculpted, but there's no point to having that good sculpting if they cannot like stay on the neck.
So, I know this is a bit of an issue you were having with Mafex, Peter. Get out of the way here. So, I know you definitely take issue with like how Mafex does their bodies. It can kind of have like the same, a similar sculpt and engineering to them with a lot of their figures.
Because like my issue with that is like people complain about Legends reusing bodies. They give the Legends team a hard time doing that.
Yeah,
And
some other.
sometimes I get that, but like nobody ever really. I mean, up until like recently, I hear some people bring it up, but I also
Hey,
just want to
really?
bring up. Yeah, some people bring it up, but they're like,
I
oh,
think so.
whatever.
I think it happened with the Nightwing release. That's when
Yeah, yeah,
think I
yeah,
saw
yeah,
some
yeah,
discourse
yeah,
on that.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
But the conversation immediately went back to, but yeah, this figure's fucking peak, bro. It was like so good. Look at the thing, the baton.
Yeah.
It's in the
Okay,
back.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do think that they're again going back to like the drop down. I feel like for some figures that's got to go. Rather just focus on making the leg go a good 90 degrees and make the torsos bend in a little bit more will be great. And again, I think they're it's just like most of their engineerings is just like they found what works and they stuck to it. They stuck to it really hard.
They stuck to it religiously.
Oh yeah, it's I would like to see some like a little bit of ambitious move from them. I mean, I want to bring this example up. Say, Edge, are you familiar with the Shinkocho Seiho line from SHF?
Oh yeah, I got the old number one, Ultraman, and Rider one. Yeah.
So I have the Shinkocho Seiho Ultraman Dyna,
Yeah.
and I feel like compared to regular SH figure art, that they're doing something very ambitious. They have the rubber torso, which allows you to have more movement, and they also, I think they have drop down hips. I'm not too sure. I haven't messed with Dyna in a while, but they also have like two sort of thigh swivels, so you can easily get Ultraman into that classic, the pose, right? And then also just the figure is very fun to like handle. It has more articulation compared to a regular SH figure arts. I wish to see that on Mafex a little bit. I know what they have works, but I would like to see maybe one figure they don't use a drop down, or they use a sort of like a different, or they dig the ab torso situation a little bit deeper to allow more like movement. Just like I wish they're a little bit more ambitious with their figures in the future instead of just like, oh yeah, here's the 2 figures from this month. It's the same body. I know you'll buy it, so goodbye. See you next month. And, you know, so a pre-order goes up in 2 days. Good luck, guys.
No, it is not.
Peace.
Dude. Come on, you
Oh
know
yeah,
it
that's
wouldn't go up.
Oh, I know.
More like-
Every 23rd, guys. Every
2
23rd, gotta
months.
check in. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I'm.
Mhm.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So I'm familiar with what you're talking about, like the Sincocho. The classic Ultraman has it also. For Mafex, I feel like it's sort of like a consistency thing. So it's maybe I'm just speculating, right? You know, I'm not.
Yeah,
I don't work at
okay,
Medicom.
and here's another thing about Mafex. So, from what I can tell, like the designers, like we do not hear anything from them. You know, Mafex, you know, the figures, you know, they're revealed. You know, they get put up for pre-order. They come out, but we do not have insight into the development of Mafex. Like, you know, we don't
Right.
really see interviews or live streams or anything of the sort.
Probably because if we did, we'd like our brains would blow up. They're keeping it safe.
No,
Yeah.
their employees would just get like bullied or like constantly like followed. Just
Yeah.
like
Probably.
just constantly requesting like same characters like Hulk Wen.
Where is my Mafex Black Hat? I need it now.
Where is Wonder Woman? I need her immediately.
Where
No,
are
great.
my
Now
Doom
we
collection.
harass. we done harassing Todd. We can't harass McFarlane.
Yeah, when are you gonna make composite Superman?
That's great. Yeah, I mean,
Just
honestly,
when are you?
Medicom is a
Mhm.
quiet company in general. And
Yeah.
well, when it comes to their Sofubi soft vinyl toys, I don't know anything about them from them. I had to like find like other Instagram pages that post like when pre-orders go up for those. So I had to like go through somewhere else, and then like their Real Action Heroes, their 1/6 line.
Yeah.
That I didn't know the Kamen Rider was coming out until like I think like a week. They made like a post like, "Oh yeah, I think it's coming out, guys." So
Yeah.
yeah, check pre-orders.
Yeah, so a lot of the info I got about Mafex, you know, about their prices and release date and numbers, you know, it's pretty much all archived on my figure collection. You know, it just kind of archives info on figure releases from like Japan and such.
Yeah, I'm on there too.
Yeah, so yeah, a pretty useful site for this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, because like when like a reissue happens for a Mafex, like we don't know until like maybe like the day before it comes out. I think the only exception's been this month, or like there's been so many that we kind of like are playing like a waiting game for like the next one to come out. But yeah, usually
Yeah, and even for like figures that are, you know, deep in the pipeline, like we only learn about those from basically like you know, shows, you know, these toy shows and conventions. You know, they have them out on the display, you know, we see the prototype and, you know, we just kind of have to wait for like maybe around a couple years or so for it to come out.
yeah, year and a half on the average, something like that.
Yeah. You know, when the pre-order comes up, you know, it says it might be coming out in like you know,
Next year.
yeah, but like then it gets delayed by like around 6 months or so.
Yeah, I mean, I think it happens more with like their live action stuff. I feel like I see it more often. I think their comic stuff has gotten a little bit better, or like maybe it's just like a month delayed, or like a 2 months, which I know is still bad, but like it's better than it was before. But like the Star Wars stuff, I think it's been like being delayed for like 6 months now, like their Mandalorian and stuff,
Yeah.
and their Boba Fett, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Too
those
much
collectors are still waiting.
Okay, yeah, because I remember like, you know, one figure that really got delayed was like the Batman, you know, from the movie,
Oh,
you know, the
no.
Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I actually pre-ordered that, but I eventually just kind of gave up. And I think I did like I think it was also because like I wanted some other figures at the time as well, so you know, I just canceled that pre-order.
Better figures.
And
You mean
that's
Marvel's Batman?
Oh yeah, Marvel's Batman.
There
Or the
you
Kamen Rider Batman. Which either one. Yeah.
Yeah,
go.
Biggest
okay,
oopsie.
okay. So this is okay, but it's been a while since this happened. So viewers who don't know, basically, when the Batman figure came out, it had Marvel branding instead of DC branding on the back. You know how they have that little copyright
That's how it's
info.
done, baby.
That was such a
So
wacky like QC.
yeah, so Medicom, they had to recall the figure. And then like a month later, they started like shipping them out again. And it had the DC branding. So if you have a Marvel Batman, you're very lucky.
The
But
lawyers
yeah.
must have been shivering when they saw that. Like,
Oh,
Dude,
oh
all the
God.
McFarlane collectors were like, "This is your treasured company."
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, they came out of their hidey hole.
They came out of their little goon cave and they were like,
Is this
"So,
your king?
this is Mafex quality, huh?"
And the
Uh,
second it gets recalled, they ran away.
Never mind. We'll come out during the next QC scare.
Retreat!
Yeah, Cobra Commander's on their side.
Oh yeah, and Edge. Something I want to ask is, how do you feel about their character selection in general? Like how they do character releases and theming and such.
So I kind of looked into a little history on Medicom, and I feel like I kind of understand what they go for now. And a lot of their early releases, they're very like, how do I put it? They're kind of like
Scattered.
a Japanese Super Seven. I don't know if anyone here is familiar with Super Seven too much,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
Super Seven, they
this
do a
is
lot of
based
nostalgia characters, and they
Yeah,
have a
they
lot of
do a
variety.
lot of like Super 7, they do a lot, nostalgic characters from like all sorts of brands. Like it is honestly pretty crazy. Like they just do all these brands like, Thundercats, Transformers, TMNT,
SpongeBob.
yeah. Oh, and they've also done like
Ren and
various
Stimpy,
yeah, they've also done like various hip hop artists like Biggie Smalls and Old Dirty Bastard.
Zarface, all the cool ones.
Oh,
No, but yeah, the point I'm trying to make is like they're like a Japanese Super Seven, but like with like better, way better. In the sense that like they do a lot of nostalgia, but more catered to like Japanese collectors. So like Kamen Rider, Kikaider, like they do Safubi like in the style of vintage Japanese toys. Like
Well, I think
so.
that's specifically real action heroes, right?
Yeah. But so when I say like when it came to their Mafex line, I feel like a lot of it is sort of like one and dones or like very big pop culture characters. Like that's kind of like what they target with their Mafex line.
They've done a lot of like 90s stuff.
Yeah.
80s, 90s like RoboCop, The Terminator,
Yeah.
Xenomorph.
Yeah, like a lot of those big like sci-fi movies and stuff like that. They really do go for that. When it comes to character selection for like their Marvel stuff, what I think is really interesting is like their X-Men and like their Spider-Man, very 90s, but then like their Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, very 60s, like Jack Kirby stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like such
earlier.
which I think is like kind of a weird thing to decide to go off of, but it makes you kind of ask like, I guess it maybe kind of feels like it expands like what they could do in terms of character selection, because like I think I'm gonna use an example like their Daredevil. I think that's like a 70s or like an 80s Daredevil. That's kind of what I'm thinking it's based off of. I'm not too sure. I'm not.
Yeah, I could see that. It's definitely not first appearance. Like that.
Yeah, it's not that yellow jumpsuit thing. What I'm trying to say though is like it kind of, since like they kind of go through different eras, they kind of have like a wide selection, but they limit releases per year, and then they also like kind of can't go like as niche as like a Marvel Legend can. Like Marvel Legends has like Spider-Man like every other wave, but like they can still do like niche characters. Mafex can't really, or Medicom can't really afford to do like a, I don't know, Darwin. They can't do Darwin like as a standalone release, and like
But they can do
maybe,
a Webman.
but they can do Webman because you just have to repaint them.
Yeah, like like Mafex, like they are not doing a gray gargoyle.
Never.
Not anytime soon, for sure.
Yeah, we're not getting Mole Man. We're not gonna get like all these classics. We're not getting Big Wheel.
Yeah,
No.
no elaboration needed. We're not getting big.
No.
Yeah, dude. It's over. It's actually over right now, dude.
Yeah.
All I'm hoping for is just a Fantastic Four set. That's all I need. That's
Yeah.
all I need.
Well, Edge, you
Personally,
could always come to Mezco. Oh, that's
I mean,
I come to
Mezco's
Mezco.
Mezco's a placeholder.
oh
Yeah,
yeah,
honestly,
placeholder
I
for
have
the
their
Moffat.
Yeah, but
I have the
okay.
Mezco Doctor Doom. But if a
Ah,
Mafex one
nice.
gets announced, I don't know. I don't know. You never know. Depends
I
on
would
the.
love for Mafex to do more Marvel villains. I think that'd be cool. Like, it doesn't even have to be like we
Yeah.
were just joking around with like the Z tier
Yeah, like
villains, but like it would be cool to get
like
some.
Black.
Oh, yeah, obviously that's the
Yeah.
top of my list. But like any villain really would be really
Yeah,
cool.
because I mean, our
I
choices
think,
are like Venom and Magneto on Carnage.
yeah,
But yeah, like
Yeah,
yeah. I
Carnage.
mean,
Probably
Green
Batman.
Green
Bat-
Goblin is a pretty, I would say, a
Yeah.
good start because because I think with Mafex's engineering, I think they can do a good Green Goblin. They just need to not fuck up the paint. That's it.
I would love to see a Doc Ock or from Mezco.
Yeah. Oh
Any of
yeah.
them.
Uh huh.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
then the question is, would you like the bendy wire tentacle to be like the Hasbro one, where it's like kind of like a pain in the ass for it to stand, or would you like to just be like kind of like a more looser kind of bendy
Actually,
wire?
I
actually,
haven't
wait,
messed with the
Peter.
Hasbro one, so I can't tell you
Actually,
on that.
Peter,
Hmm.
did you get the retro VHS Doc Ock?
Oh
I'm
no, I didn't
planning
get on that
to.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
So
Yeah.
how's the wait? Okay, Silver. How's the bendy wire on that again?
It's fun to move, and it's very, very hard to stand him on tentacles. You need to use all four. You need to like do a ritual and become
Oh,
an engineering major. Like it's very
I
hard
got to
to
roll a
do it.
6.
Yeah, yeah.
I
yeah.
heard you have to like do so many equations on the floor
Yeah.
to
Okay.
make sure it's at the right angle.
The wires are good for expression and good for posing. You can like wrap Spider-Man around it fine, but you're not gonna carry his weight, especially the
Mhm.
way he's built. Like he's really
Yeah.
bulky in the chest. It's not gonna
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah. So, Edge, would you like that kind of bendy wire tentacle, or would you like it to be kind of like a little bit more, kind of like a softer kind of bendy wire, where it's just like it's more easier to
Uh,
move? Hmm.
yeah, definitely. Because I feel like they do capes good, right? That maybe use this as a standing point because
Yeah.
they can do a good bendy wire on a cape better than any other company. So I feel like they
Right.
could use a strong one, and then also Mafex figures are way lighter than a Marvel Legend.
Yeah.
I don't
Exactly.
think they don't feel as dense. So maybe the weight distribution could work out.
Actually, yeah,
I'm not.
you bring up a really
Yeah, go
good
ahead.
point. The
Although
cloth
then
Mhm.
again,
goods, the cloth goods on like Mafex are amazing. That's
Right.
genuinely something I've never been able to complain about. Like
Hmm.
even Billy Butcher, like I mentioned, I take it away from him because he just isn't worthy of how good the cloak is.
You
yeah.
don't deserve it.
But
Yeah,
oh
I always
yeah,
thought my Peter
and,
be bummy.
and
I love
also
him. That.
Yeah.
Hmm.
yeah, and also a little something I want to note is that like I'm sure the average Mafex is lighter than like the Legends Doc Ock, but also like Doc Ock is also a bigger guy, so we don't really know how much a Mafex would weigh. So I assume it would be above average weight.
Yeah, but
Right.
that's also another question that from
Yeah.
earlier, like about eras. Because it's like if it's like a '90s Spider-Man, would you choose a '90s looking Doc Ock, or would you like go '60s like with it like,
Yeah,
and would it look
retro inspired.
It
distinct?
depends
Yeah,
on what's design. Depends on what design, honestly. But it is a stockier build character, but we have to see
Yes.
how Bane performs, how weighty he is,
Yeah.
to
Honestly,
see. Because
knowing
like, mhm.
Mafex, the Doc Ock we're gonna get is when he's inside Peter's head. That'll be our Doc Ock.
Wait, do you mean
Superior Spider-Man.
Yeah, Superior
Spider-Man?
Spider-Man.
Actually, wait, Silver. The issue with that is that it's too modern of a comic.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, they don't know anything
Yeah,
past 2000, the year 2000.
yeah, they're starting from the bottom, baby.
No, well, they're not.
I'm looking personally for like the white suit Doc, the Guido looking the gangster Doc. That's my choice.
Uh, is it the one where he wears like a kind of like a bow tie? Is that the one you're talking?
Yeah, I think so. It's like a white suit, and he's
That'd
like,
be sick. I mean, in
Yeah.
that case, they can just recycle that Joker from the.
Oh,
Too thin, way too thin.
The
He's
most
way. He's
expressive Joker.
Yeah, or they could use the sad Dark Knight Returns Joker.
Exactly. Exactly. I know that's the one I'm talking about because it has the white suit on everything. So
Pop
Yeah.
the head, put a Doc Ock, you're done. Don't even put the
you're
tentacles
done.
on. He doesn't need them.
Mhm. Yeah. He
Just the guy in a suit.
yeah, just he
Okay.
uses his hands.
I wanted to bring this up, and I'm just gonna bring it up right now. Mafex stands have evolved, right? We all know it.
Mhm.
We all know they're adding like poles and little like hooks and stuff. Do you guys do you guys like that? The new
I,
like
I don't
stand setup?
I don't care,
You don't
man.
care for it? Okay.
No.
Edge?
I open my packet, I tighten the screws, I put it on the stand. I don't know about the other pieces. I throw them in the box. I just
Oh,
leave them
okay.
in there.
And then Peter?
I don't even know. Nowadays because I have better stands, I just don't acknowledge their existence. They're just there.
To me, they're the most like unnecessarily complex and stupidly designed stands. Genuinely, they should just throw them. It's so weird. I took like an evening. I took a whole month of my life to study the stand. It's so weird why they do it. It's for such specific poses like a Superman flying straight forward thing. And then you take off the pole and rip off the claw. And it's so unnecessary. Just keep the stand the way it was. I didn't know where to mention this, so I just wanted to bring it up now.
Who?
The
I don't know. I don't know if any of you guys saw it, but there's like a YouTuber who reviewed the Mafex stand. It's like a joke view. I thought it
Oh,
was pretty.
Daigo.
Yeah,
Shout out to Daigo.
yeah. He reviewed the Mafex stand. I was like, that's like the best Mafex review I've ever seen. So informative,
Yeah,
super
like,
Also,
informative.
like
the
this
Mafex
is
stand.
something. Yeah, this is also something Silver pointed out. Like, this is just gonna sound kind of weird, but like, there's people out there who just don't understand the purposes of each individual part.
Yeah.
I-
And you can't even blame them because Mafex does no job to explain it.
Yeah,
It
like
just have these pieces. You got this. I
yeah, you
believe
don't
you.
really. Yeah, like
Oh,
How
free
dare you
plastic.
assume my intelligence?
yeah, you don't really get instruction manuals. You just kind of get the authenticity slip. That's really it.
That's the
There we go.
instruction. The instruction on how to find out if your figure is authentic.
Yeah,
That's all you need to know.
That's all that
That's it.
yeah,
matters.
but okay. Back to like the character selection. So, anything else you wanted to add, Edge?
Oh yeah. So I mean, obviously villains is a big thing. I want my Fantastic Four. They're like the go. I want the Thing, like super bad. But in terms of DC, I'm not as big of a fan. So, but the main ones would be like Blue Beetle and like Booster Gold for me, and Wonder Woman.
Oh,
But
okay.
Are you
Yeah,
talking
and
like
actually,
classic Blue Beetle or the more modern?
Ted Cord, Jaime, whichever, bro. I just want some
Oh,
Blue
okay.
Beetle action. I love me some bug theme heroes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but honestly, I it's gonna be a long time till we get Booster Gold, man. Like they haven't even hit on Wonder Woman yet.
I mean, they made McFarlane did Booster
Well,
Gold and Blue Beetle before Wonder Woman, so who knows? Maybe they'll replicate that.
actually, McFarlane made a classic comic book Wonder Woman before Mafex.
True. It only took them like
Yeah.
8 years, but they did it. They did it.
Yeah, and I
Congratulations,
want to be
Todd.
specific before anybody in the comments points it out. I'm talking about comic book Wonder Woman. Like that, I know they made the movie version, but like, come on, we're collecting the comic versions here.
No time for
Yeah.
crappy movies here.
Yeah, but like, if you want a comic version, you're just gonna have to go with the Rebel Tech for now.
Which
Mhm.
yeah, which is what I went with. So
Yeah,
it's kind of there. I
yeah,
broke
that
her,
works
but
nice. But
You could also get
okay.
like the Marvel Legends Power Princess.
or the Mezco.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if people with the Mezco.
Another thing about their character selection, and this is something I think even fans have also been concerned about, like, big figures. Like, we do not have a lot of them in the Mafex line. Like, so far, the biggest figures we probably have, they are the Gigantor, which, isn't that big, but, it's bigger than, it's definitely bigger than your average figure, but I believe the biggest figure Mafex has made so far is the Age of Ultron Hulkbuster, which came out in 2016. And
Mhm.
One and done big fig.
but I don't even think they made a Hulk to go along with it. It's just the Hulkbuster.
He's not busting
Was he
anything.
busting? Yeah.
And
They're
honestly,
Avas.
from what I've seen, it doesn't really look that great either. It has some weird engineering to it. It has a locking mechanism for the shoulder where you can have it go forward. Kind of like if you're familiar with the SH Figure Arts 2.0 Goku, how it kind of has the butterfly joint for the shoulder to go forward.
Mhm.
It's kind of like that, but there's a locking mechanism. And once you take it out of the locking mechanism, it goes forward, but it's really loose from what I saw. So,
Yeah, not many people
Mm.
hyped that one up, so I guess
yeah,
maybe
and it's
it
also,
didn't do well. Maybe that's a result. Maybe it's
yeah,
scared Mafex away or Medicom away.
yeah. It was also pretty early on in the line, and it was pretty expensive too. For the time, Mafexes back then, they would have been around 5,500 yen.
Yeah,
But
5,000 yen, yeah, around that.
well, 5,000 yen at 5,500 yen, yeah. But the Hulkbuster, it was 27,500 yen.
Oh,
Damn.
wow.
Big jump.
Oh.
Yeah, it was pretty big. Oh, and also something else about the figures, it had a very weak ankle tilt. You could you can technically spread the legs, but the foot articulation is so limited that you can't really get it out too much. So
Honestly, I'm with Mafex on being scared of big figs. If they're normal figs break, just adding more weight to it just feels like a bad idea. Maybe they know. They know they'll
yeah,
fuck up.
I don't know. Maybe they hadn't figured it out yet. But okay, and one last thing I do want to note about it, but the box for the Hulkbuster, it looks like a bootleg Lego set, like a package.
Yeah.
I just a little random thing, but yeah, it's just there's quite a few, there's quite a few notable big characters in these series, with Marvel, you have the Blob, the Hulk, Juggernaut, and with DC, you have characters. You have Swamp Thing can be bigger sometimes.
Killer Croc.
Croc, Bane,
Oh
Clayface,
yeah, Clayface, Doomsday,
Dark Side.
so
Darkseid, yeah, definitely.
yeah,
King
yeah,
Shark.
sometimes. If they do honestly, if they do a early Dark Side, he's not really that big, so I think that one could be okay. Oh,
Like a New
Giant
Gods one.
Man.
Oh yeah, Giant Man.
Yeah, well,
Uh,
that's a Marvel character, but with DC, you have Giganta, but you get the idea. There's quite a few notable big characters, and it is a bit of a question of when, if at all, they're ever going to do these characters. It's a
yeah, the only one of their larger characters I've handled is their Evangelion
yeah,
molds. So when I handle those, I get they're thinner, right? So they're tall, but they're kind of on the thinner side. They're thinner designs, so it's
yeah,
kind of scary to handle those. There's a swappable part on one of their shoulders, and I broke mine, pulling it out. It's scary. It's
No.
scary messing with them. I think it's glued back, but it's scary to mess with these kinds of things, and I don't know, Mafex have to do some serious engineering to make sure they're they can hold up well, because yeah, it's definitely kind of worrying the way they
Wanted
can do
to-
it.
yeah, and there's something pretty wild about Mafex. They take such a long time with their figures. It's just if the movie is not popular, it's just people's reactions are why are you making this?
Why are
But
you
yeah,
still releasing this?
I think the best example is that Birds of Prey movie that came and went so quick, and then they made a Harley Quinn just for that movie, or two. I forget they made it one or two, but
I don't
I think just one.
hold on.
there's one. Yeah,
Hold on, let me check if it's even okay. They did make two. There's two different versions.
yeah,
But
but
yeah,
it's
it's
damn, they really were banking on that
Harley.
movie. It's
I mean, they only did two figures, so I don't know about that.
I mean, the Joker movie from 2019 didn't get a single figure.
Hmm.
Freaking
Okay,
Birds of
fair
Prey
enough.
gets two. Come
Yeah.
on, man.
Oh, right. And They're gonna be doing like just Snyderverse figures like in a year or two as well. It's like okay.
Dead franchise. Let's make more toys for it.
Mhm.
I don't. Oh, they're making a Joker from that one scene of the Snyder cut.
Oh.
Yeah, that's yeah. We won't get our
Trust
Joaquin
me.
Phoenix Joker,
I will
but we'll
fucking
get
kill
this
you.
guy.
But yeah,
We'll get Jeff the Killer Joker. Yeah, it'll be fun.
oh god. But yeah, it's just like pretty wild sometimes. These Mafex releases. I don't know.
Yeah,
You know what release
they're
could be,
decisions.
you know what release
Yeah.
could be really wild? They're
Hmm.
the deep figure. Depending on if they put some accessories in. If you know, you know.
Like some swappable parts, maybe like some lower half part.
Yeah, we don't have to go into it, but I think the audience, I think they could put
No,
the
I think they can put it together. Yeah.
I think they should
Yeah,
watch the show and like maybe kind of figure it out. But
yeah,
Mhm.
Piece it together, audience. Come on.
yeah, you know.
it could be like a Medicom store exclusive, like the octopus variant.
Oh no! Oh
Pre-order
my
bonus.
god! Pre-ordered.
Yeah, like
They
where
do like
Yamaguchi does it.
oh god! If you're in Japan, it's like fucking. You can only get it in Japan. The
Okay.
octopus.
It's a
Come
joke.
on.
It's so bad.
That'd make for like great toy photography though. Like you can't lie. If people get creative with that.
No, but like I feel like I don't know about the boys' popularity in Japan.
That is true.
I don't know if
Yeah.
they're popular enough for them to get as like what the purpose of that octopus is.
It is
It's like
insane that they're still running though. They have obviously the Deep, A Train,
Yeah, they've
Soldier Boy.
yeah, they've actually they seem
Queen
to be
Maeve.
going
Yeah.
pretty
Queen
deep into
Maeve.
this line.
So I guess there is like some the West of
Yeah.
News just they love the boys.
Yeah.
They want to get their 7th complete, dude. They
Yeah,
want to get all of
and
them.
actually, one thing I will give to Mafex, from what I've seen, I think they made like pretty much every figure they've shown off. I think.
No cancel.
they have a pretty good track record, but I think there's some cancel points. Or I'm thinking
Yeah,
SH Figure Works. I'm not too sure.
I don't think there's
Figure
any
Arts
reports
has a
on it. I don't think.
lot. SH Figure
Oh,
Arts.
they're known for that. Yeah. So
Yeah, okay.
That-
I found one Mafex that doesn't seem to have been released. I'm
Which
gonna
one
need
is-
one of y'all to pronounce the name of this because I have no idea how to say it.
little pause.
Chico-chan?
Chico-chan.
Chico-chan, there we go. I don't, yeah.
It says it's here, it's in stock. I don't know.
Really?
It says it's in stock at HOJ apparently. So, yes, it did get released.
Mhm.
Hold on.
Yeah, actually, I'm the only one who owns this. I
No, I
bought this.
checked. Hold on, I checked Hobby Link Japan and it says discontinued.
Oh well, I mean,
Oh.
I guess it did get released at some point now.
Well, it either
Silver, did you stole yours from the factory?
okay, so
Oh
this
no!
So it either sold out or just didn't get released. Yeah, 2020. I haven't seen any photos of this. I haven't heard any discussion of this, so I don't know if this.
I mean, is anyone like hyping up Chico-chan for Mafex?
I don't know,
I-
man.
No.
I've been waiting my whole life for Chico-chan, man. So sad.
Like I feel like most Mafex collectors only collect comic and like a
Yeah.
Terminator.
Yeah, maybe comic and movie stuff. So
2001: A Space Odyssey Mafex collectors.
I need to pick those up. I need to pick those up eventually.
Mhm.
Someone
I'm
told
actually
me
looking for
were
those.
just like Among Us, and I hate them for it because now that's the only thing I see.
I know. I'm mad. I'm mad. You don't see their like faces. They're just blank. So it's like, man, where's the character at?
No character for you. You get blank slate Among Us, man.
I know. My other option would be like Super 7, and it's a Super 7, so I don't want it.
Yep. Go with Mafex.
I don't know, but okay, but
What-
is there anything else we wanted to talk about?
I mean, maybe we should give like some recommendations, right? Like, what's like a peak figure to pick up? What?
Mhm. Of course, yeah.
Okay, so my recommendation: anything but the Gwen Polar comic paint Spider-Man.
Big pull right there. Big gap right
one
there.
right there. Yeah.
Get yourself a webman. Come on. Get yourself a fucking webman.
It's the only good one. Edge, what about you? What do you recommend?
Okay. For me, do like a Drake out of here. Make it like sound like the goat. Gambit. Gambit
Ah.
is one of my favorite Mafexes. That
Right.
he like him and Spider Man are like always fighting for number one.
Mhm.
Between the two, and he sometimes wins because he has amazing effects.
Mhm.
Soft goods, trench coat, great
Mhm.
head sculpt, like
Mhm.
everything you'd look for in a Mafex he has.
Mhm.
Articulation's pretty good, like
Yeah.
for what the character does.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's
It's
my
great.
number one.
Oh yeah, it's great that you brought up Gambit because like this is the one a small point I want to just put in there. Mafex with their expression, sometimes they look kind of constipated. They're like,
Yeah.
"Arr!" you know. But
Yeah,
Gambit,
actually, I think an issue you pointed out is that like it looks like they just kind of use like the same head sculpt. They just kind
Mhm.
of do like they just have the mouth do a different expression. Like the sculpt
yeah,
of the
exactly.
face.
Would you
Yeah.
prefer them to do like face plates, or would you do like the
Well,
separate heads for each expression?
I think as
I
long as the
think
expression is like natural, I don't really
yeah.
care about faceplate or head.
Mm.
yeah, that observation was more so just about kind of the lack of expression. Mafex kind of has sometimes.
Yeah, but honestly, I would prefer faceplates because I think it's just less money. Because like if they have to make it a whole ass head, they have to make an entire head, make it a different expression. I think that's very that costs a lot of money. Um, so, I mean, this is very, I guess this example would be beneficial to Spider-Man figures because, the eyes move, right? So I would think they would have interchangeable eyes instead of four different heads in there. I think that's the, for
I don't know. I feel like for that, like I'd be scared to lose the pieces just because of how small they
Mhm.
would be.
Right. Yeah, that's
Um,
true. Yeah. But unless it's like a different style, you know what I mean? If it has like a McFarlane style, like the 075 has like two different styles of eyes, then yes, I would understand that. But if it's just eyes doing the like the squinty eyes or enlarged eyes, I think that's something that's I think will be beneficial to like be in like faceplate parts or
Yeah,
whatever. But
although I do think if you just do interchangeable eyes for Spider-Man, you're not gonna get the maximum expression out of it. Like,
Mhm.
with the Sentinel Spider-Man, like the wide open eyes, like the head itself is slightly elongated compared to the
yeah,
other
Mhm.
head.
stretched out.
Right.
So you get that
Mm.
extra layer of
Well,
expression. You don't
yeah,
get
it's true.
the interchangeable eyes.
Yeah.
But I do think it is a fine system, but
Mhm.
that is a little point to interchangeable
Mhm.
heads. But Mafex doesn't really do that with their sculpt, so I think the faceplates could work for them.
Yeah, exactly.
I think one of the better examples of that would be like their Psylocke.
Mm-hmm.
So like the neutral head has like the hair like down, and then like the angry head has like a ponytail, it's like the side like swept, like windswept.
Mhm. Yeah,
I feel like it's one of the better examples of like distinguishing their head sculpts.
my Mafex recommendation is the out of the six Mafex figures I bought, I would recommend the Shin Ultraman. I think if you just like a cool, just even if you don't like Ultraman, right? Even if you're not the biggest fan of the movie or Ultraman, I think this is just a good figure because it comes with a lot of stuff. And you can do a lot of stuff with it, and it's very expressive. I think for me, it's one of the better Mafex figures to date that I've seen to date. So that's my recommendation. I know that's a bold statement, but I've been playing with this guy for like about a week now, and I can't put it down. He looks amazing. I can't stop looking at it. He's definitely making it into the top 10 of 2024.
That is actually part of the reason why this came out a little later. We've been trying to get Peter on for a while, but he just keeps playing with the Mafex Ultraman.
Yeah, fuck.
Yeah, dude, he couldn't
Yeah,
stop playing with it.
yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's really good. But yeah, I think do you have that one?
Oh, of course. I love Ultraman, dude.
Mhm.
Of course, of course, I got one. And what gets me with that one, no one like talks about it. I think we're like the
Yeah.
first. I guarantee we're maybe some of the few people like on the English side of YouTube that is going to talk about this figure. Like,
Yeah.
go
Mhm.
check it out. If you're an Ultraman fan, check it out.
It is a very good. And not only is it a good movie, but I think the figure is also, I like
Oh yeah,
compared to the
both. Check out
3-0
both.
one. Yeah, yeah. For compared to the 3-0, I don't know about the 3-0 one, but I know the 3-0 one lights up because they have like this really big one.
Yeah,
But
the 12-inch
I was
one.
yeah, I was looking at their silver one, the one that's like completely silver. Yeah, that one. As far as like looking at the engineering, looking at the way it looks, man, I gotta say, Mafex takes the cake on that one. But yeah, I know. I think I said too much positivity for a Mafex hater. Oh no, oh no, I'm being too positive. You know what? Screw this figure. This guy sucks, man.
Just scrap it.
Fuck, man.
Scrap the podcast.
Scrap. Cut this part. Cut it out. Cut it. It's over. Cut this part out. I don't want it.
Oh
I
yeah.
think,
I guess one last thing. It's like since it's like a recent, like in the news for Mafex collectors, toy collectors, reissues. Don't be me. Don't overpay for Mafex. Don't overpay for any figure. Any modern figure is always going to get a reissue or a re-release in some way.
Mhm.
And even Mafex is an exempt for that rule. If you see like I don't know what's rare right now. If you feel like
Yeah, the comic book Miles.
Comic Miles, you never know. One day it's going to get reissued.
Where
Maybe
the-
this year, maybe next month. Ben Riley, super expensive, is getting reissued sometime soon. Brown Wolverine,
Recently got reissued.
yeah. Brown Wolverine hasn't been officially announced, but it's rumored sometime this year. That's what I'm saying. If you see a Mafex going for 200, it's a character you like, just wait it out. It'll get reissued at some point,
Or,
especially if it's a popular character.
or a better version. Better figure.
There is no better version, guys. There is no better version.
Excuse me. Hot Toys. I'm just kidding.
In the
Marvel
112 scale.
Legends. Marvel
Like,
Legends.
come
Hello.
Come on, you know Hot Toys is irrelevant in this conversation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
they're,
true. Marvel Legends. Marvel Legends. Hasbro Pulse.
oh my god, take my money now.
Any more closing thoughts from Peter 2D?
No.
Patience is key. Wait for the Mafex version. All right, guys.
Well,
Alright.
it was great having you on, Edge.
Yeah.
This was
Thank
a
you.
fun little Mafex romp. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all the funny YouTube things. Thanks for watching, y'all. And we'll catch you in the next one. See ya.
Yeah. See you when we're needed.
Bye bye.
Goodbye.